In the post-millennial, Waymo pulls self-driving cars out of downtown LA after 5 torched by rioters. The company said that it removed its vehicles from downtown LA and would not be serving that area out of an abundance of caution. Autonomous taxi service Waymo suspending its service. Per the Washington Post, the company said that it has removed its vehicles from downtown LA. Footage from the streets of LA showed rioters attacking the self-driving vehicles in the street, with one being seen on the roof of the car, hitting it with a skateboard. Another car was seen on fire as rioters posed in front of it for photos. Well, what I will say about Waymo is that I used it when I was in LA, and I did not enjoy it. It dropped me off the wrong location every time. And when it dropped us off, Sean and I, it dropped us off on the side of the road, like a busy street. It just pulled up, it just slowed down in the middle of a road, and then just said, "You're at your destination." I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm not getting out in the road. What?"
I think Waymo kind of saved my life, because the first time I'm not even kidding. Watch, I'll tell you a story. The first time I was in a Waymo, I recorded it and I put it on Instagram. I was so excited. And all the comments were like, "You sound like a pug. Are you pleasuring yourself in there? Why are you breathing so heavy?"
What?
And I listened to it, and I was breathing very heavily, which was very disturbing to me. And I went to an ENT, and that's how I learned I had sleep apnea.
Oh, all right. Okay.
And after that, I got the machine, and it's a very dangerous thing to have, because when you're asleep several times a night, you're choking.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't wake up, or it gets you so depressed and anxious, you start having severe cognitive distortions. So that Waymo was a major benefit to
And
me.
you're sleeping
And
well
So
now,
because
right?
you
And
were
also-
filming the Waymo, like
I was
look at this.
inside it.
Right, and you were filming like, look, there's no driver.
Yes. And thank you to all the fans for being so mean, because that
saved
got
your
through
life
to me.
too,
Yeah. I did tell you guys, I saved someone's life once through my cruelty. This is a true story. My friend Tibby, who was in Cash Cab with me, this is years ago, so I'm sorry if I'm telling a story out of school. She was in a very bad way, and she wanted to commit self-harm. So there was only a bottle of Manischewitz in the house to wash everything down. And she thought to herself, if I do this, Michael will never let me hear the end of it. Which is true. So she waited a day, and her husband found her, and now she's happy, healthy, and everything
Wow.
like that. So
Wow.
God
Glad
bless.
to hear it. Glad to hear it.
Wow.
What, you would like haunt her soul?
No, I
with
would
mockery?
I would just stand up about it. I mean, it's funny.
That would be my legacy.
Is the most kosher suicide that's ever happened.
That's a name for a book.
Oof.
Yeah. So trolling can save lives.
It can.
Let's talk about these Waymos. Here, you know why they got trashed? It's because you can summon them,
Right.
and they won't fight back.
Yeah.
So my assumption is either these cars were driving down the street and someone walked in front of it and it just stops.
Sure.
And then everyone just says, there's no one who can stop us, no one who can report us, and they got destroyed. I wouldn't be surprised if someone actually called one, ordered it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, their record, they're going to be on file having done it, and they're going to say, it wasn't me who did it. They're going to say, I was calling a Waymo to get a ride, and then everyone else attacked it.
Right.
Yeah.
Lazy arsonists.
Yeah. Bring the car to me. Instead of me going to the car comes to me.
What happened to
It's the
these
future.
people? Yeah.
There was a really great point made about Waymo. I saw on X that they're bad to use for one reason. They are the bottom tier of like the bottom class in traffic. Whenever you call a Waymo, it'll say it's 7 minutes away, and it'll take 20. Why? Because
I've never had that. Really?
people will walk in front of it.
That's not my experience in Austin.
So in LA, we used Waymo, I think 3 or 4 times, and they were always longer than it would say. It would be like 7 minutes out, and then it would take 15 minutes.
I've never had that happen once in Austin.
Well, LA.
Yeah,
What the
I'm
argument
arguing
is
data.
that when people see a Waymo and they want to jaywalk, they'll just keep going because they know the Waymo will stop. When Waymo wants to turn left, okay, most people don't know this. I could be wrong, but my understanding is when you're turning left at an intersection, it's illegal to pull into the center of the intersection. You're supposed to wait in the lane until you have an opportunity to go.
Yep.
Everybody pulls into the middle of the lane so that 3 cars go, and then it turns yellow, and 3 cars will turn left. Waymo will not. Waymo will stay in the left turn lane, and then people will keep blowing past it. And if they're blowing the yellow light, the light will turn red, and the Waymo will not go. So we were standing at an intersection. We were standing on, there was an intersection, and we were about, half block down. And I'm like, there's the Waymo. And it was like 2 or 3 lights, and it wouldn't turn left. Because human drivers were blowing, they would jump through the light at yellow at the last minute, and the Waymo couldn't make the turn.
It's interesting if it's how it behaves differently in different cities. And it's also because the drivers in those cities.
That's right.
Yeah, the way it's learning.
Yeah.
From its surroundings. Yeah.
However, the argument is that once they make it illegal to drive cars,
Which they would want to do.
and they're
Yes.
actively trying and they want to get to that point,
Yes.
it's going to be the best driving experience. No, zero traffic. There will never be traffic ever again. All self-driving cars will communicate with each other. So if there's 1 million people on the highway, all the cars can move forward and backwards at the exact same time without fear of collision. And when you're entering the highway, it will reduce all the cars by 1 mile an hour in the back and speed up the ones by a mile an hour, creating spaces. That's the argument. As for now, you've got a bunch of cars that suck.
I'm gonna have a horse and carriage.
I don't think they suck. I mean, my experience has been very, very different.
In Austin?
Yes, I'll wait.
When they drop you off, do they like pull into parking lots? Do they?
I'll tell you my bad Waymo experiences. I've had a couple of bad ones, okay? And it's kind of interesting because it shows how like when you have AI, it's smart but also stupid.
Yes.
I think when AI was first started, they tried to get it to learn things. They fed it the encyclopedia, and one of the deductions was that everyone born before 1700 was famous, which makes logical sense, right? But like you can see how I got to that conclusion.
Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah.
the Waymo I've had two kind of not good experiences. I've used that term very loosely. One is it was stopping across the street from the location, so it looped around the whole block to make that left turn so it could meet in front of me. It wouldn't recognize that I'm just across the street. Another time, someone left the Waymo, left the door open, and it couldn't recognize that the trip was completed. So I had to get in, call someone. They made me leave. They can't reset it if I'm inside.
Yeah.
They're talking to me through the machine. I'm like, I can't hear you. The window's closed. And it went back to where I first started, which was a block away. So, but these are little quirks that I think will be finished with.
Remember that guy who was in the parking lot going in circles screaming?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. But this is the kind of thing, like the fact that it's as good as it is now, I think it's kind of miraculous. Like when you're look at a video game or social media site, when you have the beta testing, it's rarely this solid.
Yeah, you know what is cool though is that when you're in the Waymo.
Okay, that's fair.
When you're in the Waymo on the screen, because of all the sensors, it shows you all the traffic.
Yeah.
But other Waymo vehicles are like they're highlighted, they're different because it knows them. And I was like, once every car is on the grid or the network, the way they've described it, their end vision, not Waymo specifically, but the the self-driving car industry, everyone will have an Uber app or Lyft or whatever. Each will have a fleet. All the cars from every company communicate with each other. No one will own cars. You'll simply walk outside and you'll be like, I need to go to the store, and you'll hit a button. And within a minute, the car arrives because there's so many cars everywhere, all moving back left to right. It will just pull up, pick you up, and take you where you want to go and drop you off.
How would you feel about?
They've actually talked about, get this, self-driving cars with pods, and the pods are transferable. I think this was Mitsubishi, maybe? I can't remember which company. They said you can call, a van will come and pull up to your house. You'll load your luggage into the van. It'll drive up. Then it will transport the pod of the van onto a track, which will be pulled by a train up to an airport where the pod will then slide into a plane, and the plane will take off to bring you to your next destination. Shoot. I don't know that we get there. Modular vehicle transport. Self-driving cars already happening.
But I think if we were 5 years ago, we could not have predicted Waymo being as successful as it is now in 5 years.
When was the first time that you were in a self-driving car?
When I had the breathing problem. So this is a few months ago.
No, the first time.
This was the first time.
Like a Tesla as well?
Oh, no, sorry. I was
full self-driving.
Tesla is nothing compared to Waymo.
Tesla's self-driving. That
it is.
Pretty slow.
But I'm going to tell you, as an owner of several Teslas, you cannot compare Waymo to a self-driving Tesla.
Right?
Why do you think that?
I have a Honda that can self-drive, and it's got what they call lane assist.
Yeah.
So you go on the highway, you press the button, take your hands off the wheel, it'll go. Tesla's a little better than that. It'll actually stop, it'll turn at lights. Waymo has all of the sensors. Like, Tesla can self-drive in a limited capacity with you sitting in the driver's seat, looking forward. But often, like in rain, it disables.
Yeah.
There's numerous instances where it's almost slammed me into vehicles, which is, I'm not kidding. I was in Hagerstown, Maryland, and I was like, I always just press auto drive and then I sit. I got within 2 inches of a car on auto drive and I just jammed the wheel to the left to dodge and went into the wrong, like the oncoming traffic. There was no traffic coming towards me, but I had to go in the other lane to dodge it. And then it goes boom, boom, like a thing pops on the screen saying, you disabled auto drive. What happened?
Hold on. Is it possible that it wasn't working well because there's an Asian driver?
It could be. The AI is like, ooh, this guy.
I can tell. He's passing, but I know.
In my Tesla, there's a highway out here. And it's a state highway that has, I think it's like 4 lanes on each side.
Okay.
It's pretty big. If you want to turn left, you have to pull into the median and stop. I'm going 70 miles an hour on auto drive, This is when my wife is driving, and it slammed the brakes on in the middle of the highway because a truck was sitting in the median.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay.
And it panicked and thought
Yeah,
a car.
yeah.
It did, there's also issues with rural areas where it, like, I scraped a tree because it couldn't tell a tree was there in the dark. There's also a part of the road out here that has collapsed about a foot because it's, we're in the mountains of, Appalachia or whatever. So they're not real big, but they're mountains. And so there's an area by us that goes to a steep drop off, and the road on the right side has crumbled a little bit, and it fell into it.
Oh, really?
And it went boom, and then flipped them. I was like, because it can't see that.
Okay.
Waymo cars have, what do they have? They have sonar, LiDAR. They've got
What's LiDAR?
laser, right?
Oh, is that right? Bless you, Phil.
Detects the ground.
Light? I don't know.
Thank you.
I think it's light. Then there's these cameras are built into the frame, these massive cameras all over the place. Tesla's, my understanding, used to have sonar, and then Elon disabled it, saying cameras are better. Yeah, well, when it's raining, I can't self-drive. Waymo is going to be able to drive in the rain, but this is the big challenge because I'll be driving, it'll be raining, it'll say self-driving has been degraded, and then it'll just turn off abruptly, boom, boom, and then shut off.
Do you want to hear us? So sometimes I'm sure everyone in this room has had brain farts, and you realize something. You're like, wait a minute, that was stupid. I've been using Waymo for months. With in Austin, it's just luck of the draw. It's integrated into Lyft.
Really?
Yeah, you can't use.
Whoa.
I can't just pick Waymo if I want it.
In LA, I had to I had to download the Waymo.
It'll say like, "Hey, you've also matched with the Waymo." It's usually a few minutes more, and I'm like, "Oh, yes." I hit yes so hard my finger breaks, and it took me like a couple of months to realize because I always sit in the passenger seat. It took me a couple months to realize. Wait a minute, my backpack from the gym. I don't have to put it between my legs. I could put it in the driver's seat because no one's there. And I'm so used to like you're the passenger seat. You put your book bag on your feet. Yeah, I was very proud of myself for that one.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.